Good morning, guys. So it's really bright. You might be wondering why we're standing in a big old field. This is a cotton field. So you all know us, for those that have followed us for a long time, that we had our cotton plant, and because of that we managed to get in touch with someone who actually grows cotton here in Kununurra to get some more cotton seed. And while we were at it, we thought, well, why not tell you a little bit about what they're growing here and why they grow it here. So cotton is one of the things they grow here. It's a reasonably new thing, and the reason being is because there's ample water, and cotton is a water-thirsty plant. It also needs the warm, humid weather. So it's the perfect place to grow that, and the perfect place for us to get some new seeds. The other thing that they grow here a lot in Kununurra is sandalwood. So sandalwood has been in the area for a long time now. Cotton's a rather new thing, but they both need a fair bit of water, and water is amply available here. Readily available here, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, so we've got Chris up with the drone just to show you what's involved. At the moment they're planting, so these plants will start growing pretty much ASAP. They're run with the oared irrigation system, which means that their water is gravity fed to them. So there's constant water availability, which is really cool. They don't need all the machinery to try and water them themselves. It's like flooded through the ground. Without these farms, there would be half as many jobs available up here. This area is thriving. A lot of people live here and work as a part of all the farms and the agriculture here, and that's what keeps this area booming throughout the year. So yeah, let's go check out the cotton. We'll get ourselves some seeds and hopefully find out some cool information for you.
Bloody hot out there, isn't it?
Yep. You have a look down and see the rows aren't perfectly straight.
Yeah.
Even though it's all put up with GPS, the 2.5 centimetres from perfect.
It's still not bang on.
It's still, you get a rig that'll pull one way a little bit, or pull the other way, or you hit a soft spot.
Yeah. So with your irrigation, is it the same as the Sandalwood setup? You got your pipes that run in?
Yeah, but ours is slightly different because cotton, if it's underwater or has wet feed for say 36 hours, it starts going yellow.
Okay.
So you got to get the water on and off. Down in St George, all our paddocks down there are roughly a kilometre long.
Yeah.
And we can get the water on and off in 8 hours.
Yeah, wow.
Here, my longest paddock is 480 metres long.
Yeah.
And it takes me 12 hours.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a big difference, isn't it?
Yep.
So, like, in the way of growing, the growth of the actual cotton itself, like how from the day that you plant in the ground to the day you can harvest it, I guess.
Yeah.
What sort of time period are you looking
Well,
at?
we're planting now, we'll pick in September.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah. Usually,
That's not too bad,
are you in town for a while?
We're here for another 3 weeks, I think, yeah.
Right, come and have a look before you go.
Yeah.
Even if you want to come out once a week and have a look at the different
See the
paddock.
different- yeah.
This will be out of the ground in 3 days.
In 3 days? Yeah,
3
wow.
days. St George, where I'm from,
Yeah.
week 10 days.
Okay.
Because of the colder climate.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
soil temperatures.
Okay. So it's obviously quite perfect up here.
Yeah. But we grow in summer there, we grow in winter here.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, vast different bloody climates, isn't it?
Well, there's a lot of things come into it up here. For example, up here, because we're growing in winter, the days are shorter.
Yeah.
So we can't plant as many seeds per metre because they don't get the light.
Right, yeah.
So you've got to have it open so the plant can open up more,
Yeah.
to get more leaves, to get the adequate light, the sunlight it needs to keep the plant going.
Yeah, wow.
So there's just little things like that. That's
Tiny,
why we're up
yeah.
here fiddling around with it. This is only our second year,
Yeah.
second season up here.
That's really cool. It's like so awesome to come out here and meet farmers and get like a real perspective of how things are grown, how everything just works, the process, the cost, just the little detailed questions you want to know about simple things like cotton. Like, I feel like cotton's got a bad name for itself, but up here they're testing and trialing different setups and like just the way they grow it and how they plant it to keep it sustainable. And I think that's the goal when you like for the future, is being able to sustain things and keep them around longer and just keep that process going over and over without using too many resources. There you go. Yeah, really cool. I hope you can hear me with all this wind, because it's pretty windy out here now. It's just picked up. But this bloke is called Blocko. I don't know his real name, but that's what people call him, and that's obviously his nickname. It's like my one being Nugget. Got quite a few fields here that he's working on. Last season, he just said there before that they did quite well, considering of being a brand new place and a brand new area. Different climates, different heats and temperatures and stuff that play such a big factor. But yeah, I don't know, it's random, it's cool. It's funny how we are now into cotton, all because we found a little cotton tree on the side of the road at Emerald.
This idea, these how you set your height.
Yep.
See it move when I move this.
Ah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right? If you have a look underneath, how much disc is sitting out of the right? As the wheel comes up to the stopper, that's how deep your seed's going.
Oh yeah.
But you need 7 seeds deep.
Yeah. About 40 kilos.
Oh gosh.
Is it vacuum?
Ah,
Vacuum, see?
Yeah.
What it does, it makes an area in this, that area there is all vacuum.
Yeah, alright.
As it comes to the section where there's no vacuum,
It falls.
the seed falls down the ship.
They're blue.
yeah.
So why are they blue?
It's got a chemical on them to keep the insects from eating them.
Ah,
And you plant them.
Yeah.
It helps with the germination.
okay. Yeah, cool. Oh yeah. So when did you plant those ones?
Yesterday morning.
Ah, so they'll still be a little bit before they
Yeah.
come out. How closely do you reckon they go together?
There should be about, what I'm aiming for is 10 seeds per metre.
Oh yeah. So
you've
every
got
10 centimetres.
Oh yeah.
4 or 5 inches.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Cover him up, otherwise you don't grow. It's not really meant for cotton, but it'll do.
It'll work.
That's me. If I grow that many cotton, I'm going to become a cotton farmer. Sweet.
So it
Thank you
is.
so much.
No problem.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. birds. I tell you what, kite.
Where is he? Oh, there you are.
There was not one for miles, absolutely miles. We can see so much here. And in 5 minutes of that drone being up, 2 of them come out of nowhere. It's my constant battle every time I get the drone up.
But before you put that away,
Yeah.
how cool is it being able to drone all these unusual things?
Yeah, well, I was just saying there to Sean before in the seat, like, to come out to a big open field like this and drone a guy in a tractor and try and get an aspect of how big this place is, like, it's just, you don't get to do that stuff every day. Like, we're pretty lucky to be on the road and go and see these amazing places and locations and stuff, and waterfalls, mountains, lookouts. But then to do something like this, it's so different, and it increases your skills, and you got to think differently, and it's not just the same pans and the same moves. Like, this is more FPV sort of style droning, and I love that sort of stuff. And I've just seen that DJI's just dropped their new FPV drone. I'll tell you what, I got to convince the missus I might be able to get one, but
We already have a drone. I did think about it when I saw it this morning.
oh man, but this does everything we want to do, but that's just taken to a whole new level.
Yeah.
But besides all that, it's cool to drone different stuff, and it's just for me as a now, I don't know, what would you call me, like
I'd say you're like
a
intermediate,
qualified-
advanced
intermediate advanced
Drone user.
pilot.
pilot.
Call me a pilot, I guess. I'm flying something, but it's just increasing those skills, because you're going outside your comfort zone and doing different things that require different skills and mindsets and things like that. So yeah, today's been really cool. This is different, and it's fresh, and it's skill building.
I'm really excited to see the footage and see what you got out of it, because it's like one flat ground with a moving vehicle.
Yeah, like you would
Basically.
think how boring is this going to be, but I tell you what, like when I finish droning and I go, Sean asked me what's the footage like, and I'm like, it's good. And this is one of those moments where it's good, and I enjoyed it, and I know I got some good stuff. And you would think this would be the most boring setup ever.
So when you see this, drop it in the comments below. Do you think it's good?
Did I do a good job with a boring situation?
With some flat landscape and a tractor.
Tell me, let me know what you think. Well, there you go, cotton. How cool is that? That has been a really cool experience.
Yeah.
I think I was touched on it before, but to be able to go and meet somebody that just is passionate about it, loves what he does, knows all the ins and outs about cotton and what it uses, and just literally every little detail you could ever want to know, he can tell you. And it's cool to get that, because you don't get that anywhere. You got to be out to these farms and meet these people to do that sort of thing. So
he's passionate about cotton, and he's been doing it for 10 years, and he was like really willing to teach us about it, which was so cool. Like,
I felt like a little apprentice.
Yeah.
Took us in the tractor, and then he's showing us how to pull the things off the back and how it all works.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. Yeah.
here was us with like our one pot of cotton when we were going through Queensland, and now, I mean, we could do fields of cotton, but no, we're going to do our pot again.
Yeah, we got quite a few there. He's like, do you want any more? And it's like, seriously,
We don't need any more seeds.
you're an industrial side of things. We're just
Yeah.
a commercial,
A commercial.
like
Residential.
a residential, where we just want to, 3 or 4 seeds. But yeah,
It's a good experiment for the kids as well. Like, that was the main thing for Jada, was growing the cotton. So this time it's really cool that we can actually do that and get all the way through.
Yeah.
We'll be in WA long enough, and the weather's warm enough as well, that we'll
Yeah.
definitely have time to do it.
So we're going to do it properly this time.
Yep.
Now we know all the facts and all the specs.
Oh, I got some cool like pro hot tips to be able to plant them. So we'll do that when we plant it.
Yeah. I think our goal at the end of the day is to really just give you a full overview of what Kununurra is,
Yep.
and what it is, and
It's
why
not
it is.
just a truck stop where you get fuel and continue on, because
Yeah.
there's so much more here.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing too, if you're a tourist and you're passing through Kununurra, obviously seeing the sandalwood behind us isn't really going to help you, but there is a Sandalwood Shop. So we're going to also show you the shop
Yep.
and the cafe. So if you want to buy Australian grown Indian sandalwood products, you can go there yourself. So we'll be doing that in a couple of days' time. They're not quite open yet. They're just getting ready to open for the season.
Okay, so these are the Indian sandalwood trees,
Yeah.
which are one of the species that's grown in Australia. There's a few native ones as well. This one is the most valuable, so it was developed, I guess, as an industry in Kununurra years
Yeah.
ago. They did a lot of early trials in the 90s and worked out that it grew well here. It's I guess the rarest one of the group, and it's the most valuable and sought after in terms of its mainly for its oil quality. So it's got a good amount of heartwood and oil, and the oil itself is worth quite a bit of money. It's the most valuable. And it's got a range of different products that it's used for. We've got a shop in Kununurra out of town a little way. It's a good representation of different products. Some of it's made from the album, the Santalum album, which is the Indian sandalwood here. Some's also made from the spicatum, which is the native Australian sandalwood. So there's a range of products from both species in there. Yeah, so that's probably the most interesting part of this tree. And I guess in terms of growing a tree for wood or like a forestry product, this system here is quite unique in a couple of different ways. One, it's irrigated, which is basically the difference between growing sandalwood and any other forestry crop. Basically nobody else irrigates tree crops for wood. So that's one difference, and the other one is that we can't just grow the sandalwood themselves on their own. They have to have a host tree to thrive and produce the products. So it's a mixture of different species, so they have to grow with some other trees.
So this one here is...
So this is the sandalwood tree. This plantation here was planted in 2010, so this is an 11-year-old plantation. It would have been planted in the dry season, probably May, June. So that's 11-year-old.
And how old do they have to be?
15 we generally harvest them.
Oh, cool.
So it's got about another 4 years to run here.
A little while.
Yeah, they will grow longer and they'll improve over time as well. So there is potential to get a higher yield from growing them for longer than 15 as well.
But your host trees, you're saying, were the other aisles?
Yeah, so these rows were set up basically in a row cropping type of arrangement, and they're all on grade, so they flood irrigate from that way to this way all through. They're 3.6 metres apart.
Very specific.
All GPS, all straight lines, and the water runs down in between. So this row is your sandalwood row. The trees should be 3 metres apart, and then in the next row over we have a host tree. This one here is an Indian rosewood, Dalbergia.
A rosewood? Is that of any value in itself?
Yeah, it's actually got value as well, but probably not in the rotation length we have. So it's 15 years is too short. And also you can see those trees are very poor in terms of their form. They're not straight. They're all multi-stemmed. And they're not really that valuable for their own timber at this point. They're purely there to aid the sandalwood and help the sandalwood grow. That's really their only purpose in this situation.
How does the sandalwood use the host trees?
So the sandalwood roots actually connect to the roots of the host tree underground.
Really?
So they're very sort of shallow exploratory type root system, so they'll actually go out and physically look for other roots to grab onto and they'll form a little nodule and basically exchange water and nutrients between the two trees.
That's cool, hey?
Yeah.
So what happens then if a sandalwood goes to find another sandalwood? Does that ever happen?
They'll actually host on each other as well.
Oh, really?
Yep. They'll connect to each other and then to a host, and it's kind of like a network of roots that's actually all connected in together.
That's cool.
Yeah, so what also happened here, which you can't see anymore, but when we planted these when they were young trees, they would have also had hosts in here.
Oh, okay.
Which are short-term hosts which die along the way. So it would have looked a little bit different in year 1, 2, 3. At year 10 or 11 right now, all the short-term hosts have already disappeared. And we're now in this sort of stable environment where you've got the long-term hosts and the sandalwood trees.
Yeah.
The long-term hosts don't generally die. They can tolerate the hosting and the pressure from these guys, and they keep going. But the early ones die out. They literally get chewed up by the sandalwood along the way. The sandalwood itself in its natural environment. It is like an understory tree. So this type of environment that we're in right now is pretty close to what it would be in the wild, where it's just sort of sticking up in the light at the top.
Yeah.
But you've also got really good shade down on the trunk here.
Yeah.
And you can see there's no weeds. It's been raining.
Yeah.
All shady. So no weed control needed in here.
Yeah, that's really cool, hey?
Yeah, so it's this is sort of what you aim to do. You aim to try and get that canopy to close up and get some nice shade and some
so nothing can
cool
grow
on
around
the ground.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. What you're trying to do is manage the hosts and the sandalwood to try and keep them all happy.
Yeah.
And some of these hosts are actually quite a lot more vigorous than the sandalwood, so if you don't do anything, they'll end up taking over the whole place, and
yeah, cool.
These guys will get shaded out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the host trees at the moment don't really have any value in terms of the timber, like some sort of product at the moment. So what we basically just waste them at the moment.
Oh really? Like mulch them up sort of thing?
We just mulch them or just basically bulldoze them and burn them.
Oh really?
Which is not ideal.
No.
But there's some other options that we're looking at the moment, which is one of the main ones is biochar.
Okay.
So what we're looking to do is take the hosts and feed them through like a biochar machine.
Yeah.
And make charcoal out of them.
So it
which
can
could
be used
either reused on the ground for farmers or for a second round of sandalwood.
Yeah, okay.
So put back into the soil, could be sold for fertiliser, whatever.
Well then it becomes sustainable as well in a sense.
Exactly, yeah. So this is where the water comes in, so if we order water for an irrigation event, it'll come in here. These are the wheels that, when the water goes through, they spin around. So they're basically like a meter.
Yeah, wow.
Simple meter to measure how much water goes through. And then once it goes through here, then basically we operate this channel here. This is part of the plantation, this channel. So we'll actually put water either way by putting these boards in. Flow either way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Basically fill the channel up.
Oh, so you stick them in these little grooves.
So you just stop it.
Slide them in, and they just make a dam, like a wall.
Yeah.
You can put plastic on there so they don't leak.
Yeah.
And then you just literally fill the channel up, and then when it fills up,
it'll overflow.
you siphon them. Use those siphons to suck it out of the channel and over the bank.
Oh yeah.
And then it'll just flow by gravity down the furrow.
That's
between
crazy.
The trees.
That's crazy.
The other end.
Do you have to actually siphon that from the other side?
You have to literally put your hand over the end and suck it like that a couple of times and drop it.
Away she goes.
And once it starts siphoning, it'll just carry on.
You just got to get it going.
Water across, so you normally can do, 100 odd in that section, and they'll all flow for that time, and you usually leave it on for 24 hours or so until it gets the other end.
Yeah.
Then you'll stop all those ones and send the water down there and do the next ones.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
You're just in sections.
Yeah.
Yep.
So today is a bit different.
Very different.
Yeah.
Something interesting and factual.
Yeah, to give you a better understanding of the area. So we've driven about an hour away from Kununurra to a place called Kingston Rest. This is the original pilot dam that they built in the 50s to test whether Lake Argyle would work. So we're standing on it at the moment.
Yeah, it's basically a test dummy. This was built, what, in the 50s or 60s?
50s, I think it was.
50s. So this was basically just to see and prove to, I guess, the government,
that the theory would work.
The council at the time, that Lake Argyle was definitely going to be something that they could actually be built and work efficiently.
So Lake Argyle, if you don't know, it's basically a really, really big body of water that they've worked out, through GPS and that there's a certain area that would fill with one small dam wall to have a for lack of swear words, a really, really, really big bit of water available to anyone. So this is a really mini version of that. So in comparison...
we mean like mini versus like massive. We're going to do like a little diagram of the two dams.
I'm going to put it over the top right now.
Yeah, and try and give you an idea and a perspective of actually how big Lake Argyle is. So this little dam was just a test dummy setup, but in theory, if you can do this with a smaller one and do a bigger wall for a bigger one, you can have a much bigger scaled size, and that's exactly what Lake Argyle is.
Yeah.
And why it became what it is today.
So at one point this dam was owned by a company that were farming red claw in here, so there's still a hell of a lot of red claw in here.
I reckon there'd be tons of them.
But now it's a water supply for the sandalwood farms up this way.
Yeah.
So
this is basically feeding all the sandalwoods that's in this general area, and then obviously they got more sandalwood further outside of town and on the other side of town, which the irrigation system from Lake Argyle now comes and feeds all that. So basically Kununurra can be self-sufficient off just the water off these two dams, and they've basically got water for life.
If there was a significant drought, I think Kununurra would be a really good place to be, because there is so much water.
There is a
and
lot.
The dam even generates, at Lake Argyle, it generates all the electricity for the town, so that's pretty cool.
Then the other thing which we just learned about before, you can see there's like the old rock here. So this was built in the 50s, and this here was added only a handful of years ago. Nearly $4 million just to put this little extra row of rock in. Because on the other side of the dam, down here, it was just starting to have leaks. So they checked this
4 times a week to make sure that it's not going to break down.
Every single week.
Buying this land and having this dam is actually a big responsibility, really.
Oh, there's still a decent volume of water back here, even though
it could do some damage.
Even though it's smaller than Lake Argyle, but Lake Argyle is just enormous. But even this can just about decimate everything that's in front of it. He said before,
within 15 minutes.
Yeah, within 15 minutes, there's like a little hut down here where they do the signing in and stuff. And that's not that far away, but in 15 minutes, that'll be wiped out.
Yeah, it'd be gone.
Completely.
You'd be out.
So it's pretty big task to take on board.
I'm gonna hit the beach in the sunshine. Cheap sunglasses looking so right. Hitting the streets in my old man Chevrolet. Looking for a good time and then some. Kick it with my friends in the hot sand. I got a song blasting by the Zac Brown band, yeah. Got a case of cold beer. Ain't gonna last long here. I'll pick my friends up at the pier. They're all like kicking it high, kicking it low, making noise like a big truck show. Raising hell is the way to go. Yeah, we're kicking it fast, kicking it slow, bouncing around like a rodeo. Bad girls wanna rock and roll. Yeah, we're kicking it.
You've asked us a few times how we get our droning done.
Don't take any notice of the alarm. Not as bad as what it sounds.
The alarm is because the remote control battery is nearly flat, but it's still got 14%. But it's only just above us, so it's okay. So we're on our way back out from the dam, and there's a portion there of water that kind of collects at the end. So Chris is getting some drone footage. It's here behind us. There's like a really cool flat area next to it, back from where we came from, and they used to clear it all and do camping here, but now they've got a 4-meter croc that lives in this waterhole. So they've got photos of him and everything, so he's definitely a salty and he definitely lives in here. So now they don't camp there anymore. It's really pretty. So Chris is going to get some drone footage and show you. And we were just talking in the car too, we thought we better make it known. As pretty as this location is, unfortunately, it's owned by the Sandalwood Farms here at Quintus, so it's not available to come for the public. We've been lucky we were authorised entry. We've had to sign in and go through a process to come in and check it out. So we really hope you enjoy the footage, and I'm sorry that you can't get here yourself, but maybe one day they'll put camping in or something, and then you'll know about it before everyone else. But it's such a pretty location. Interesting here, there's like a really cool smell, and it's because there's this tree that's just totally in bloom above us. It smells like, do you reckon it smells like honey? It's really cool. I'll show you.
Well, we have finally made it to the Sandalwood Shop. We've been up here nearly 8 weeks and we haven't been able to check out the Sandalwood Shop yet because it hadn't really opened officially because of the season. It's been open now for about a week and a half, I believe, and we can now show you how everything sort of, I don't know, how it all comes to an end. So all the trees that we've seen, the sandalwood trees, how they're made, how it's all farmed, the whole agricultural side of it, and why they do it is all inside this little shop. So I'd be interested to jump inside here and see what they've actually got, because I haven't actually seen the whole shop myself. Like, I've only seen a few little products, so to get in here and actually show you what they've actually done with all the product is going to be really cool.
And we thought we'd just show you a few of the products that we like to use and why we like to use them. Some of them you may have already seen in the series anyway, so this is one of them to begin with, which is
Mozzie Stick Diffuser Set.
So, well, you don't have to get the whole set. This is a stand that you can put it in, so that you don't burn yourself, because we always put ours inside the caravan in the ground, and if you haven't told people that it's there, then you can get yourself, and we do.
We spend a lot of time taking them out and having to stick them back in, because you try and put them close to you or near you, and if you have to get up and get a beer or something, or go and get up and go to the toilet or get in the caravan, you normally forget about it, and you snap the thing in half and whatnot. So, but
they're based around sandalwood, so not citronella, and I think they work just as well, if not better, but they actually smell nicer, so they're really cool.
Yeah, they've got a nice aroma.
They're a good thing to have.
Yeah. Another thing that we have in the caravan, which we probably haven't used a lot lately, but we used to use a lot in the early days when travelling. I reckon we probably will start using it again more when we get onto the west coast. But this is the Multicore Diffuser Set. So it's basically just a box with a lid on it with a hole, and as you can probably see now, you got your Mozzie coil underneath that you burn at one end and it'll go through like most Mozzie coils will. The smoke comes through the top, but then underneath you've got two little drawers.
If you can open them.
Yeah, fat fingers. So the first one is to catch all the ash, and you can just pull that out and flick it out, which is nice, quick and easy. And then the second one on the bottom, Jesus, is your spare coils. So you got all your coils that you need. You got your little sort of rubbish drawer there, and you got your lid for everything that comes through. And it's just a nice little compact.
It's safe for
box.
kids though.
Yeah, well, that's another good thing too. Like, the kids can't really get into it and burn themselves. It's encased in a box, so it works really well. We have used it quite a few times. We actually used it a fair bit back at home when we first seen these. So it is a good little setup. $35, can't really complain. It's good quality, aluminium, and yeah, we enjoy it. And just for the sandalwood side of things, like Sean was saying, it is really good, we find, for mosquitoes and all those sort of nasty bugs at night.
I tend to judge the location we're at by how many sandalwood sticks I need. So sometimes I put one out and that's heaps. Sometimes I'll do 2 and that's enough. And then if it's really thick, you can do 3 and a bit of a spray, and then you're perfect. So it works, but then what level you need depends obviously on what the area is like, that's all.
So as you can see, there's quite a range of products that they supply. We'll run through a couple of the ones that we actually really enjoy and use quite often.
Well, this one I've never used before, but I'm going to try it, which is just body wash. So I just mix it up every time. It's nice to have something different all the time, because we all use the same product, so we get through it quite fast. So I want to try this just for a change, just something different. But one that we do use all the time, which I can show you, is over here. Chris knows this one well. Everyone knows this one well these days.
Well, they should now, after my dump point segment that I had at Darwin.
Hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer, yeah.
This actually smells good though. So there's so many hand sanitizers and you just about kill yourself with the alcohol smell. This is no different, but it leaves a sandalwood smell behind. So it's really good. I like using this. It doesn't leave my hands feeling medical and stuff. So that's also what Chris uses when he does the dump point. So that one as well, we're due for a top up. So I'm gonna get one of them while we're here. But just keep in mind, sandalwood's so good for so many different things. It's got medicinal uses, it's, you know, beauty uses. There's so many things. You can even buy from here the wood chips. So if you do smoking for meats and things, you could use sandalwood to flavour your meat. So that's pretty cool. So like I said, you got a lot of beauty products. So there's all the things that the ladies like in a sense. So you've got your body wash, which I'll be getting. You got a deodorant even. There's body butter, like moisturizers for the boys that don't know. Or hand cream, whatever you'd like to call that. But they do all gift packs here as well. They've got like your typical soaps, like normal soap as well. So you got that as an option. There's just heaps you can do. They've also got a damage control. Pretty sure it's called damage control.
Damage control.
Yeah, skin damage control. I used to use this, but I ran out. It's probably another one I should get as well. So this is like good for sunburn, it's good for pimples, it's good for rashes, it's good for like anything. If your skin's damaged, skin damage control. It's really, really good. So that's another one.
Like I was saying outside, like to see it from the very beginning to now the very end. This is the very end of the line, from everything that goes into the trees to the building, the growing, the maintenance, there's so much work that goes into that. But it comes into some really cool, long-lasting products that you can actually get a lot out of. So it's kind of cool to be up here seeing that from start to finish, because I don't think a lot of people get that.
Yeah.
They just see a product on a shelf and it's like, oh, it's just another sanitizer. Oh, it's just another hand cream, or it's this and that.
It's been grown for 14 years. 14
years to make one of these products, I guess, in a sense, to put on a shelf for you guys to enjoy. So I don't know, it's just really cool for us, and how we've learned things over this trip so far is just how things have made and grown and produced and finalised. Like, it's not just a product anymore, so there's a lot of history behind it.
I was thinking about it too, the other thing which you can obviously buy is just the pure essential oils, because people use them just, you know how you get a diffuser, you can use that at home, and I used to do that all the time. I'd always have sandalwood on. As a culture, Indians like to use it as a perfume. And I used to work with a lady who would wear it all the time, and I'd just smell her come past me, I'm like, that's sandalwood, you know? So, and that's just the pure essential oils. Like the essential oils are also good for medicinal reasons as well. I mean, I don't know what they all are, but it's just such a good product. But there's so much
involved.
Yeah, it doesn't just come naturally, sort of thing. You've got to grow the tree.
It's not just something you can grow for a year and produce. It's
and only the heartwood.
A long time.
It's only the middle bit.
Yeah, it's literally like a small percentage of the tree. So yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Mainly the roots, I think. I can't remember that researching it now. We've got a video to watch. So in here, they actually do an informational video. So we're going to sit down and watch that.
Oh, there you go.
And there you go. You can learn more about it. And you guys can do that when you come here too.
And just before, when I was outside, I did mention that there is a cafe, and it is opening this weekend. I'll just give you a quick squiz at it. It's obviously closed, but this is what it'll look like. So a lot of seating area, big old cafe. It looks like they've got a big bain marie there with heaps of stuff they have in it. But no, not bad. Not bad at all.
So thought we'd show you this, because if you're a city kid like we were, we had never seen this before. So it's basically an automated fuel station. There's no one here though. We first saw them at the Cape, and we had to kind of learn what to do with our car just to make the thing work. So I'll show you what you do at the pay station, and this is where you can get your fuel. Another hot tip, if you're in Kununurra, this is about 10 cents cheaper than any other fuel station around. So definitely come and check it out. What pump number is it? So basically all I've done is pre-authorise the pump. So now Chris can pick it up and fill up the car. No problem. So we've authorised for $200 worth, and as long as he doesn't go over $200, it's fine. And then afterwards you can pop your card back in to get a copy of your receipt.
Super simple.
Yeah.
Nice and easy.
Just remember, this one is a lot cheaper than the other stations in town. So when you come through Kununurra, come here. It's not far out of the way. It's worth it for 10 cents a litre.
Yeah, there's heaps of pumps. There's plenty going on. You got diesel, you got unleaded.
Yeah.
And they're actually in the middle of building a car wash in the back
Oh
too.
yeah, that's right. I'll go and show that to you. Hang on. There you go. So laser wash, 360 plus. So I'm assuming you probably have some vacuum stations here. And look, they got the big truck bays going in, so you should be able to get your either truck or your caravan in here, and then you got the automatic laser washers down the end as well. So that doesn't exist in Kununurra yet. At the moment, you can go to the BP, and they do have it's giving way to cars. So you can go to the BP, which is just around the corner, and they do have a car wash, but it's only a small one, so it won't fit your caravan. They also don't have change available there, so you need to take change with you. So this will be a big change. So if this car wash is open, definitely come here. It'll do you really well.
So we've used $98.11 out of that 200. So basically we'll just go around the other side there, put in your card, and it'll come up with a receipt, and whatever we didn't use, we'll go back into the card.
Kununurra is a very resourceful town, so I just wanted to give you an idea of what's around. You've got an Australia Post, which has everything you could ever need, and you can do parcel collect there. You've then got Red Sun, which is a camping and fishing, biking, caravan kind of store. It has everything you need. You just go in there, ask them, and if they don't know, they'll direct you somewhere that can. There's a Coles in town, which has all of your mainstream supplies. You also have a Mitre 10 for any gardening needs and bits and bobs for tools and things. There's an Auto Pro, which is for all of your car requirements. There's also the best butcher in town, so we love their sausages. We've tried lots of meats from them. Definitely highly recommend you check them out. And another one that's important to know about is the Roadhouse. So obviously if you're coming through at an odd hour, they've got plenty of food, they've got all your basic fishing, tackle, drinks, fuel, everything you could need, and they're right in the centre of town.